Go ahead, Josh. Start the show tonight.
This will be the Josh Hinkey AwayCast.
Josh.
Ran by Josh Hinkey, managed by Josh Hinkey, interviewing Josh Hinkey as special guest.
I picture Josh coming out like a late night television show, and Josh is playing the drums, but
then the camera slowly pans behind him, and you look into the audience, and it's just full of Josh Hinkeys.
All Josh is in the audience. Josh is the cameraman.
Yeah.
But they would all boo me off stage really quickly.
But they all have just like black eyes. They're just sitting there. And they're just like,
this took a dark turn.
And
now
it's
terrifying.
they're clapping slowly, just in unison.
Just
clap, clap, clap.
Nah, and this is my nightmare now.
This is always my nightmare.
A show of me.
Just you. I just wake up and I'm in this. I'm the only Gregg in the audience, and just Josh is all around me.
To Another Way Around. This is the AwayCast number 24.
Yeah, number 24.
This is John Hazelone. I'm here with Gregg Andrew De La Rocca.
How you doing, everybody?
Gregg sporting his what? Who's that?
It's not Gregg. It's Pillow.
Oh no, Pillow Gregg.
Pillow Gregg's here.
No, what would we call him?
Mr. Pillows.
Was it Pillow Gregg?
Yeah, Pillow Gregg.
I don't like this new character. Josh Hinkey's here live from Chicago.
What up, yo?
Oh, what's up, dude? How's everything? How's life? It's been a while. I feel like I miss you guys so much.
Aw, shucks. Go on.
A lot has actually happened in the past 2 weeks.
So much has happened in the past 2 weeks.
Oh, Gregg, do tell.
Well, for one, there's new stuff and there's new games.
All right. You heard it first. Breaking news, new stuff, new games.
Well, I'm trying to be a professional game journalist here. So
yeah, that's pretty good. You're on the road.
Yeah, I got
stuff and games and stuff.
We got new stuff came out, new things, and there's some new stuff to play with the things, and there's games, and there's stuff, and there's characters and things. You know.
I'm not gonna say I like some of the stuff. I don't like other stuff. You know.
Well, I have to disagree with you there. Because I don't like some of the stuff, and then I like some of the other stuff. So.
Oh, okay. I mean, I really thought the first stuff was all right, but then the second stuff was.
Well, I'm just trying to play my character, the Simon Cowell character, where I always disagree with the stuff, and then you always agree with the stuff.
And then,
I always like the stuff.
Yeah,
it's like on whatever Simon's on now, and then eventually he brings up Kentucky Route Zero.
Yeah, and then and then the show gets good for about 5 minutes.
For about 5 minutes when he has his input.
I like to imagine that like when you say he brings up Kentucky Route Zero, he is Simon Cowell, and Simon Cowell's running the X Factor, and just stops and he's like. But this Kentucky Route Zero video game is top notch.
There's really nothing like it. So your performance is moot. Everything else is irrelevant.
That's how they judge the X Factor now. They compare them to playing an hour of Kentucky Route Zero.
And nobody has ever won.
Nobody can ever beat it.
No one can win X Factor.
So in the last, 2 weeks? Wow, man.
Last 2 weeks, man.
Lots happened, though. In life, too.
Dude, you have a new car.
I got a new car.
Congratulations.
Tell him how you got it.
I got a Nissan Rogue.
And he won it in a contest. Tell him about the contest.
What happened was I got a phone call.
And the guy called, I'll tell you. And the guy called and he said, look, we have a contest for you, John.
There's a tournament, he says.
Well, because
John
is signed up with this company that looks for tournaments for him because John likes tournaments. And they called John up and they said, John,
Are these just tournaments for anything?
No, well, listen to this tournament. Go ahead, Gregg.
So the tournament that they called John for was actually not just a pizza eating, but also you have to take the boxes of pizza after you eat them and build the most complex, beautiful house or architectural structure.
Right.
So John.
So literally any tournament, they just call you about tournaments in general.
Right. I'm part of an elite group of people who what they do is they pay a tournament broker to only find tournaments where the winnings are attainable.
I applied. I wasn't even accepted. I was denied right off the bat.
But they realized that
you have to have 100,000 gamer score.
Right.
Otherwise, you can't get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I figured Gregg was going to go somewhere better with that story. I thought I was going to be like a Mortal Kombat fighter. I thought I was going to be like in a racing tournament.
No, you're eating pizza and building houses with the boxes.
Which is just about as good as Mortal Kombat, let's face it.
I thought I was going to get a good tournament. I mean, that's not bad. The building part I liked. The pizza was...
Oh, sorry.
Well, I think maybe you were craving pizza, Gregg.
I'm not. I just eat Chinese. I don't want any food at all.
I could go for some Chinese, but I could always go for Chinese.
Well, Josh is coming to hang out with us in 2 weeks.
Ugh.
We're going to Josh never met us in person.
And I'm not looking forward to it.
Well,
So once you meet me, you will look forward to it again.
We're gonna be at Comic-Con together, dude. You don't even know what to expect, bro? Me and John are veterans.
well, we know that we already stocked up Gregg's fridge with Lunchables and juice boxes for Josh.
Yeah,
they
that's
got Capri
exciting.
Suns, Yoo-Hoos, and Juicy Juice.
And we got a
Pizza.
Power Ranger sleeping bag for him.
I know you guys are making fun of me, but all this stuff sounds fucking awesome.
Why would we be making fun of you? Because you're young?
Shut up. Because I'm the young one.
Josh,
Well,
shut up.
Just make sure you bring your ID so we can have beers at Comic-Con if you have one.
Yeah, the best part about Comic-Con is going there and being really disappointed in how weak it is and getting drunk.
Well, we weren't disappointed. No, okay,
we were
listen.
bored. We got bored.
The
pretty
reason
quick.
Comic-Con was boring is because we tried to get into the panels and we didn't, and it was disappointing because there was a Firefly panel and there was a Halo 4 and a Firefly panel.
You can only walk around that convention center somewhere because we get 3-day passes. So on the third day, we're like, fuck, we got to get drunk.
We're going to have enough to do with the AwayCast and another way around.
It'd be kind of fun to get drunk at Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's good for a
It
little
is
bit.
fun.
But the problem that I'm going to see this year is it's going to be so crowded this year. It's going to be worse.
It was crazy crowded last
It's
year.
going to be worse than... Well, this year I'm assuming that they're going to have PS4s and Xbox Ones playable.
Yeah.
So there's going to be lines. When we went last year, it was Assassin's Creed 3, Darkstalkers, a couple dancing games.
They had, what's that game? Me and you both got it. It was fun for like 3 days.
I don't remember.
The Studio Ghibli game.
Josh liked that game. Why can't I think of it?
Josh.
Ni no Kuni.
Ni no Kuni.
Ni no Kuni.
Tomb Raider was there. Hitman was there. Wii U was there, playable. Remember?
Did you already say Assassin's Creed?
Yeah. But it was they had a lot of... I was surprised, actually, at the amount of game content that they actually had.
Do we know what's going to be there this year?
No, I haven't looked. Right now, you get all these emails for all these celebrities like Mulder and Scully are going to be there.
I'll wait online for an Oculus tryout. If they have an Oculus there, I'd wait online for a while. I remember when we went there, they had the... what was that? Was it for Halo? That really long line? That was like ridiculous?
Yeah. They had Halo multiplayer going, 16 players.
I'd wait on that line for an Oculus Rift.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if they had that there. They'll have a lot of content this year just because it's a turnover year.
Are we going to be waiting in a lot of lines? Should I bring my Vita?
Yeah, but I mean, there's plenty to soak in around you, dude. The atmosphere is cool because it's it's broken down into sects of gamers and The Walking Dead honestly is what made Comic-Con so fucking overcrowded. Because I don't know if you know, but October 13th is when The Walking Dead comes back on television, which coincides with Comic-Con.
They probably won't advertise that at Comic-Con.
No, definitely not. Even though our passes already have it all over it and shit.
Oh, that's right.
It's ridiculous. They'll probably have a panel too.
So I have a love-hate relationship with that TV show.
Well,
I have a hate relationship.
I have a love the first season, hate everything after that.
Yeah. The first season's good.
Every year I get the 12-issue book. The hardcover book of The Walking Dead because I really enjoyed the comic. So I just got book 9 and it's on its way. So I don't know. And I usually have to read 2 books before that and then jump back in and try to remember everything that's going on.
So let's talk about what's on both your guys' mind. Let's talk about the series finale of Breaking Bad last night.
Oh man, he waited until the podcast to bring it up.
What you guys think of it? Oh wait.
I have no problem with not having that in my mind right now.
Fucking amazing.
Oh,
that's what I thought.
God, you guys don't. You don't.
I don't feel bad about it either.
You guys don't watch that show?
I don't. I'm eventually going to watch it. I just haven't.
I got 5 episodes in and said, okay, I get it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
See, Gregg's getting offended right now.
I'm not at all. I don't care.
Because that's how people at work do that.
That's a joke. That's a big funny joke that people get offended. That's a Family Guy joke that you like.
That's a good Family Guy joke.
It's not like that. It's just a fucking great show. It got an Emmy, okay? It's got 2 Emmys this year. 3 Emmys this year.
Did you work on it? You're bragging about it like you worked on it.
You know what? It's viewers like me that keep those shows alive.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Giant blockbuster
I will say, I'm
shows.
glad that you spend your time watching Breaking Bad and not watching, garbage like Survivor or The Amazing Race. So.
Yeah, that's good. It's much better television
It's
than
funny
that's
is
out there.
I pay for cable, and the only thing I've ever watched on my television so far has been Breaking Bad. I pay fucking $130 a month to watch Breaking Bad.
What are you going to do now?
I'm going to cancel my cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I watched Boardwalk Empire last night, and I watched Eastbound and Down. And I watched that new show just because they were all sequential. That new show. What's the guy's name who plays Wheatley in Portal?
Oh, yeah. Stephen Merchant?
Stephen Merchant. Yeah, he's got a new show on HBO called Hello Ladies.
Yeah, I've seen that advertised in the subways.
It was all right. It's okay.
What you guys should watch is Derek on Netflix.
I heard it's pretty good. I heard it takes on the same tone as Louis.
It's a tearjerker.
Yeah, I heard it's like funny, but in a dark way.
Every episode's a tearjerker.
I don't know if I want that. Whatever.
He plays a pretty good retard.
So Gregg and I also on Friday, Kate, Gregg, Ricky and I. Ricky is
he's in the other room pouting.
Can you give a shout out? Say hi, Ricky.
He can't hear that.
I don't think you heard that.
No, he's in the other room pouting because he misses his girlfriend.
Well, he just moved into the city.
He's only been here for 6 days.
Stranger in a strange land. So
crying like
Ricky's
a baby.
living with Gregg for a little while because he got a job at Warner Brothers, right? Mm-hmm.
Warner Music Group.
it's
He's
a reputable company.
Yeah, he's
I've heard of them.
He's a merchandising manager for Bruno Mars, Grateful Dead, and Cody Simpson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds like a good job. So it's worth sucking up living with Gregg.
Yeah,
definitely. Where was I going with this? Oh, we all went on Friday. We went to a book event where a Nickelodeon book was released by, I don't remember.
It's called Slimed by Mark McGrath.
I don't think the singer of Sugar Ray wrote the Nickelodeon book.
I don't think Mark McGrath can actually write. I don't think he knows how to do that.
Have you ever heard Fly?
Have you ever heard?
I have heard Fly.
You ever heard, what is it? Every morning when I wake up, there's a halo
hanging from
the corner of
Touch
my
it all, baby.
girlfriend.
Don't say a word.
Yeah,
Touch
hear
it all,
those lyrics?
baby. Touch it all, baby.
I don't think that's part of the same song.
Yeah, no, it is.
He was just doing how bizarre, how bizarre.
No, it wasn't.
That's right.
It's in the song. No. Trust me, I know music. Okay.
Okay. You know Mark McGrath songs as much as you hate him.
Okay.
But anyway, we went to basically anybody who liked Nick in the 90s would have enjoyed this. It was like a little too long, I think, 3 hours. It was poorly structured. But anyway, there was a lot of panels with people from 90s Nick there. Like who's notable, Gregg?
We had actors from shows. We had older brother Pete. We had the father from Pete and Pete. We had Ferguson from Clarissa Explains It All. We had
Sam from Clarissa Explains
We also
It All.
had Billy West, the voice of everything ever. Most notable for his voice of Fry from Futurama. But he's also Ren and Stimpy and Doug and many other things that you would not believe.
Some Wild and Crazy Kids girl was there. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah, she was drunk. Are You Afraid of the Dark dude was there. Most of the voice actors, I think my favorite part.
Someone from Salute Your Shorts was there, right?
Yeah, Sponge.
That's cool.
What color was the giraffe's tongue?
Purple or blue.
It was blue.
I knew it was one of those. They talked about Nick in the 90s and how it got started. It was really interesting. I liked the way they talked about how everything was so unregulated in Hollywood then. You know, it was interesting to hear how, because everything's very sterile and regulated nowadays. Like the guy who talked about how he developed most of his ideas, he was 24 years old and like managing a television company. Just shows everything's regulated now, I guess. Whatever. They used to let the kids go down to downtown Disney and like just hang out. They were like 11 by themselves.
And that's the thing, right? Is that you look at some of those shows and you can just kind of tell that that's the perfect way to get your ass sued nowadays. Like Legends of the Hidden Temple, like, you know, where it's like, hey, climb this mountain, and if you fall to your death, well, I guess who gives a shit? You know,
Exactly.
you can't get that on TV anymore.
One of my favorite memories as a kid, the host of a very relevant game show was there from Nick Arcade.
Phil Moore
Was there, and he was like, yo, Mikey's going back.
Honestly, he should have just hosted this show. He was so...
Yeah, he was very energetic and upbeat, and he definitely helped the show
I'm going to sit in my seat right now. I'm going to my seat. You know,
yeah. Mark Summers hosted the whole event, he was definitely the most charismatic guy there, without a doubt.
He was dirty. You say some dirty jokes.
Yeah, he was doing dirty jokes. So on Double Dare, they had a Double Dare panel, obviously, and they talked about...
Harvey, what does he want?
Yeah, Harvey was there. I don't know if Josh remembers Harvey. Do you remember Harvey, Josh?
I don't think so.
New Huffy bicycle with water bottle, a new Casio.
Oh, is he the guy who would actually just like announce all the prizes?
You're going to win a new Casio keyboard.
Casio. Yeah. So Robin was there, like Mark Summers' assistant on Double Dare, and he was getting frisky with her.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. They were all being like, there was some tension.
They were being like regular people. And
yeah, it was odd.
Yeah, like regular, like drunk people just being, you know.
Anyway, it was cool inside look. Our buddy Bob Kemp was there. He's our buddy.
He's our good friend.
Good friend.
He's it's funny because I didn't know that his role, it was such a big role, because when I looked him up after we went to Comic-Con and met him, it was like he was one of the guys that started it, but I thought he was the one that fizzled out afterwards, but he was the one who kept it going. Picked it up. Yep. He kept Ren and Stimpy going. So
yeah, Greg and I met Bob Kemp at Comic-Con last year. It was a really cool experience, actually.
He drew I got a Ren and you got a Stimpy?
Yep.
Yeah, he drew us little Ren and Stimpies.
What was cool was he drew that for Greg and that for me, and then we went to Wizard World recently, and he was selling drawings for like $100 a piece, and we were like, oh, we lucked out. All we did, we went and bought him peanuts and a water.
Yeah, we got him roasted nuts and a water.
Yeah. So that was a cool event, and then Saturday night, I ended up getting tickets to Fuerza Bruta, which I don't know if you've heard of that, Josh, but it's like a way more low key. It was in Union Square in the city, and it's like a way more low key Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, okay.
But you're kind of within the show. It's hard. It's pretty hard to explain, but it's a very ambient, kind of spiritual show. I totally recommend anybody checking it out if you're in the city. They didn't pay me to say that. I'm just saying it was definitely awesome. Lots of loud noises, loud colors, interpretive dance stuff. It's cool. We were all dancing.
But if they wanted to pay us to say that, we're open to taking their money.
Absolutely. So Fuerza Bruta, the show, if you're listening, I know you probably don't have enough success getting hundreds of people to come to your show every night. But yeah, and then I got the new car on Sunday. So nice. Went to my parents for dinner, picked up the car. That was it. Josh, you've been into football lately, huh? Football's been striking.
We were actually in Minnesota. My friends went to the game last weekend. They had a lot of fun, except that we lost. And so Greg's already asleep. That's cute. Well, thanks a lot for caring about my life, Greg.
Wait, what was that? I'm sorry. What was that?
Shut the hell up. My fantasy team's doing really well. Let's move on.
Your fantasy team?
My fantasy team.
Was it like a World of Warcraft clan? What is that?
It's a World of Warcraft. You select your favorite players from World of Warcraft. I chose Thrall, and he's doing well.
Oh, you know relevant names.
But yeah, football's happening. I'm actually to the point now where like football's actually take up my Sunday and interfere with like me playing video games. God, that sounds so fucking first world problems. But yeah, and so I lose out on time playing video games. I have to sit there and watch my Vikings be terrible. So.
I left Wonderful 101 in the dust. I haven't played that in a while. You know, Grand Theft Auto pretty much took over for a week or so, or 2 weeks or whatever it is now. So, did you video games, right?
Video games.
This is where we'd have a little noise play. Video games.
Video games.
I don't like that one.
Video games.
No, I don't like that one. I don't think anyone's ever could be culturally aware of what
video games. Video games.
It can't be that long.
Video games. Video games. Video games.
All right.
Video games.
And cut. All right, we can do that. We can keep that one.
All right.
Oh, it could be that. It could be the whistle.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a pretty good one, right?
What's the song when you go to the whistle world though? Like when you're choosing, isn't there like a song that plays in the background? It's like and you get there and it's like some kind of like weird trancey kind of song,
Oh yeah, no, that's not the whistle world. That's when like you go up into the clouds to get the coins, right?
Oh yeah,
and it's like we're talking about Mario 3 for anybody who's Josh, you too young to know that game.
I'm a little guy. I never played Mario 3. I know of Mario 3.
I don't remember it anymore.
How have you not played Super Mario 3? Why are you on this podcast?
You really?
There it is. Now here comes the hate mail.
Wait, you really actually haven't played Super Mario Brothers 3?
I think I don't know. They all kind of blend together.
Josh, when you come to visit, I'm going to sit you down in front of a television. I have my Nintendo set up. You're going to play it.
Have you played Mario 2?
I've obviously played some of those games, but I don't I have trouble distinguishing.
Okay. Direct your hate mail to the AwayCast at gmail.com. Attention, Josh Henke.
Just forward it to me.
Josh, Super Mario 2 is something that that you play and you never forget it because it as a child it fucks your head up so much.
Yeah.
It's the first trippy video game you ever play.
Unless you're 5 and someone's like, "Here, play this." And you're like, "Okay."
I'm 5. I was 5 when I played that shit.
Yeah, me too. I was
Josh,
one.
man.
I was one when I played it.
When you come over here, when you come up, we're gonna have an 80s montage makeover.
It's just gonna be nothing but retro games.
Makeover with you just playing old games and like laughing and like with a sweatband on, like. Greg, come on! I'm queuing you up for a song.
And you're not even. Which song was it?
This is the montage that Josh is gonna do his video game.
Do that thing again with the drums.
Okay, so gonna fight, gonna win. Josh in a sweatband, like
I gotta learn how to play all over again. I forgot everything that I once learned. I'm gonna start all over from the beginning of time. I'm gonna play those games from the beginning of time. I'm gonna relearn everything. I gotta relearn my video skills. I forgot everything in the wreck when I hit my head. I gotta learn it all over again.
I knew you could do it, Josh.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Cut to a shot of Josh. He's like still learning how to hold the controller again because he's so hurt from the wreck. It's just,
I do that. I drop the controller and do like a oh no look to the face or look to the camera.
Like you're bad at first, and me and Greg cross each other's arms and look at each other like. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to do it.
I don't think he's going to be good in the competition.
You're going to be doing crunches, like learning. I don't know.
This has gone on way too long.
Greg, Josh, because I know Greg didn't play much GTA.
But I'll tell you about GTA.
Okay. You know what? Greg played the least amount of GTA by probably about 40 or so hours.
You should let me go first, honestly.
So let's let Greg go first. Last week we talked about GTA. I got it a little early thanks to my friend Sean, who I'm mentioning now. I didn't last week because he got a little mad at me. He's like, "Yo, I let you play the game early. What's up, bro?"
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, bro.
Bruh.
So Greg, tell us what you think about Grand Theft Auto.
Let me tell you about the Grand Theft Auto franchise in general. To me, Greg, Andrew De La Rocca. Here's what happens. I can't play these games all the way through. I don't know what it is. I just can't play them all the way through. And actually, I do know what it is. I should have said that because I know exactly what it is. I'll do a mission, and I'll have a great time doing a mission. But as soon as I'm done with that mission, the fact that I can do anything that I really want in this world is always better to me than doing a mission. So I get in a car, and I run people over, and I kill people, and I go to strip. I kill everyone in the strip club.
That's part of the game, though. That's playing.
But then what happens is I do that for like a long time until I die, and then I'm done, and then I walk away from it.
Yeah,
and that's it. And then I leave it alone for a while, and then when I pick it back up, I'll do a mission and I'll do that. And if you think about it, it's not very productive to work that way.
None of it's productive, but like you're still making slow progress.
Not really. I mean,
are you not enjoying yourself when you pick it up?
No, I am. The games are intimidating. They're too long for me. The only long games I play are Fallout.
But I was talking to a friend recently who was over. We were watching football and one of the commercials came on and he was like, "So do you he's like, "So is this game going to be good? I picked it up. I haven't played it yet. Is it good?" And I was like, "Do you like running around blowing things up and killing people? Because you can do that just as well as you ever could, if not better." And he's like, "Yeah, that's what I do with those games." I'm like, "You'll have fun. Enjoy yourself."
But you can also do everything else besides that. So if you enjoy golf, you can golf.
Yeah, so far my favorite part is the strip club game where you have to like touch the girl and
not get caught by the bouncer.
Her, and then when the bouncers catch you, you just go back into the strip club and kill everyone.
That's funny because Greg's played the game for what, 2 hours? You said maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, actually, I played it on 3 occasions. I played it once by myself, and then I played it once with a girl, this girl that I'm hanging out with, and she wanted to see it because she heard about it, and I just went right to the strip club. And I was like just showing her because she's like a feminist and shit. So I wanted to show her how awesome this game is.
Okay. Like this is what you do. And then you killed all the women.
Exactly. I slaughtered them. I literally
and took all their money.
Well, actually what I did was, this is something I recommend everyone doing, is to go into the strip club, fire a shot. Well, actually kill the guy in front of the strip club and then just stand in the doorway. Because what happens is there's so many people in the strip club and they're trying to get out and they can't get out if you're standing in the doorway. So what happens
is a fire hazard.
What happens is this massive buildup of just people in the doorway, and all you just keep pistol whipping them, and everyone just
nobody fights back.
No one fights back because they're just getting whipped to death. And once you're done whipping them, then you shoot them, and then you just have bodies everywhere. And then there's so many bodies that the cops have a hard time getting in.
What's your Grand Theft Auto review, Greg? What's your overall
10
score?
out of 10.
10 out of 10. Would pistol whip again?
Would definitely pistol whip again.
So Josh, what about you? Didn't you review the game?
No, I didn't. I haven't done a review. But
I was gonna say that's quite an egg to crack there to review that game.
It is. Actually, I had a lot of thoughts about it, and it took me a long time to try and figure out where I stood on the game. It's a lot. The world that they built is amazing. GTA does such a great job of building these modern worlds, and they're the only ones who really do this. Saints Row does it, but they do this to this crazy, insane place which isn't really based in any sort of reality we know. And even though GTA goes over the top, it is still a recognizable world, right? It still feels like Los Angeles.
I think we're at a point now where they scratch two completely different itches. Saints Row and Grand Theft Auto, while they may seem similar in description, they are very far from being similar games.
Well, exactly. And I think that the release of Saints Row 4 and GTA 5 at the same time really proved that, right?
Right.
Whereas the mini games alone set the differences. The Saints Row mini games are run through the streets as fast as you can. Here, we're going to throw 200 guys at you. Just kill them all. And whereas with GTA, it's here's yoga and golf and jet skiing.
It's grounded in the least serious sense of the word. It's grounded in a reality that exists within the parameters that Rockstar jurisdicts, but it's not Saints Row where they kind of just give you the key to the city and reality basically and say, here, have fun.
Exactly.
Did either of you guys pick up a prostitute in the car and pay for the blowjob?
Yes.
Yes.
So long.
Yeah, Gregg?
It's so long. It's it's kind of awkward watching that happen. It was like 45 minutes.
So of your 2 hour experience, 45 minutes of it was getting the blowjob.
I literally couldn't believe how long it was going. It was 5 minutes just going on, and you can't really change.
How much did you pay for a 45-minute blowjob?
I don't know, whatever the price was.
Oh man, that sounds bad out of context, huh? People just skip to the
skipping ahead. They're just whoa, Gregg had a weekend.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But yeah, you have to experience all areas of the game. Yeah. So I tried all three in a row.
Yeah. I mean, well, so did I. But I've said the other ones were pretty short. But for some reason, it was a long, just
it's 20 seconds.
No, dude.
You must have got
no.
She must have been the secret hooker that you get, and she spends a lot of time with you.
It was long.
Or maybe you're just playing with the character that had the most endurance.
Look, see what Josh is doing. See what he did there. He put his mind to it.
Yeah, there it is. Jokes.
You got him. I have to say, I loved the game. I did. That what I'm doing right now. I'm putting a pillow for this to land on. I was a little not upset, but it's annoying when a game comes out and it just starts getting tens across the board, tens. And it makes me wonder how long that the reviewer had time to actually experience the game besides zipping through the story in order to get a review out the door.
Well, especially after GTA 4, right? Because GTA 4 had is one of the highest reviewed games on Metacritic. And we look back at that game and we're like, man, that it's fine. It's good. But even for the time when it came out, those scores are really shockingly high.
It seems like people just get really excited. The first review out of the gate is usually pretty high because people, I think this is how it works. I think the first review, if they pay or if they're first in line to break NDA, it's usually if it's a blockbuster game, it's usually a pretty high review. And if it's way late, the review is usually mediocre because they want to see the contrast in opinion. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it makes me very curious as to, everybody knows the game journalism argument. Jesus. I mean, I don't know.
I also think it's really hard to play games in a bubble like that. I don't particularly envy, especially with a game like Grand Theft Auto, I don't envy those people who have to sit in a room because they live in a world of excitement where whenever they see people, they're like, oh, I'm so jealous. You're playing GTA 5 right now. I wish I was playing GTA 5 right now. And they probably get this skewed opinion where they're like, man, I'm really lucky to be playing this game. Where now once everyone has it, it's hey, this is all right. I don't feel particularly blessed to be playing this game.
I think there's a point where it gets jaded. You get jaded as a long-time reviewer, but man, that the story was fantastic. It had its moments, but I think towards the end, I was pretty disappointed. It seems like the arc had a lot of low points, as opposed to previous Grand Theft Auto games, where I think I spoke to you about this, Josh. Where even as what was the GTA 3 guy's name?
Claude,
and then you had Vercetti, then you had CJ, and then you had Nico. And all of those guys started from the bottom and worked their way to the top, like the typical arc, this typical stairway to like fame, fortune, and everything that you do in Grand Theft Auto.
Which is also like, they ape a lot of stuff from the crime genre in general, but that arc is the crime story, right? I mean, you look at like The Godfather, Goodfellas, any of those crime classics. Scarface is a perfect example. It starts with someone like, oh, we're smuggling drugs, we're working for the low time, and then the big boss comes and he talks to us and we're all like, whoa, and then we turn on him and we take his money. Now we're the big boss.
Well, Vice City was based on Scarface basically anyway.
Yeah, I know exactly.
But it's a perfect way to describe it. It's based on that you start as a henchman and work your way to be the boss. And that it kind of sounds like we're getting on the wavelength where we're making it sound like it's tried and true and done and over with. But I think I was missing that in this Grand Theft Auto. I think I did not get the same excitement because it was a lot more monotone than, straight up and down the ladder, or like the heist missions and stuff were the pinnacles and the high points of the game, right? Right or wrong?
You're definitely right. I wish there were more of them. And I wish there was more. I'm sorry, this is minor spoilers here. But I wish that there were more, you had more control over them. Because there's a lot of time you're pulling heists and you're not getting anything from the heist. You're doing it for someone else who I won't talk about. But you do a lot of them where it's like, hey, you're not going to get paid for this. And I'm like, I'm the worst criminal ever. Why am I doing this? Also,
without getting specific, I mean, the heist missions, however many there are, it does not ramp up in the amount of cash that you take from them.
No, not at all.
It goes from like you're making pennies. You there, Josh?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. It goes from pennies, and then something like the end game is just stupid, And it's almost like, oh, you beat it, so here's everything.
Exactly. Where I was kind of hoping, I was really hoping the story would be about you taking Los Santos for like all of its money, and like that there would be this kind of ongoing story of who are these three guys that are just, taking all of the money in Los Santos. They're hitting this bank and they hit this art house and they did, this heist and this heist, where this was more like you get involved with a faction early on that really runs you and doesn't allow you to do anything cool because they're not cool. And the characters of that faction aren't interesting. You don't like them, and they run you for the majority of the game. And that's where I really felt the game lost a lot of steam.
And the high points and twists are very telegraphed, and they're almost unnoticed at some points for me. There's a major twist moment that they reveal some information to you, and it's done in a way that it just does not lay it out for you. Like it happens in passing, and it does nothing for the major plot twist of the game. So I think a lot of the writing is there. The delivery is a bit shallow here and there. I think. Yeah.
And so that the Housers are the guys who write. They're the brain trust behind Grand Theft Auto. Sam and Dan Houser, and they're the writers. And I feel like we were talking about how they went by the formula before, and as they break the formula, and also breaking it by having three main characters, I feel like it really hurts them because they didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know, once they had to get outside that box, they were like, oh, I don't know, I guess you'll do this, and then maybe you do this. And the tone of those games is always amazing. It's one of my favorite things about the GTA universe is thematically, it's always really strong. For instance, GTA 4, say what you will about the story, but that whole idea of the American dream and what an immigrant coming to America would think, in 2008, hitting the shores and being, surrounded by, sex on TV and the internet and, crime bosses and stuff like that. And how often Nico says I should have just fucking stayed in Eastern Europe if I wanted this. And I thought thematically it was really strong. And it has some of those tones still in GTA 5, but I don't feel like it's nearly as well suited as it was before.
What's odd in contrast to what the story actually is that it's got such strong characters. Like Trevor is such a strong character.
Trevor's a great character.
In anything I've even read or seen, like he's such a strong... They develop these guys' backgrounds really well. They flesh them out as characters. They make their attitudes well known. Their demeanor is very well known. Even some of the smaller side characters, like people that are in Michael's family, like when you learn Michael's family and you learn people that are tied to the family, like Fabian, whatever, the yoga instructor, and all these side stories, like you really get a good feeling of it, because when you go on the internet, there's like Fabian, whatever, does his yoga classes on the internet, and like everyone's backstory is really fleshed out. And the characters are so strong and in your face, and they have a position in this world. It's just that the way that they're put together sometimes didn't work. Like the way it pans out is you start off with, spoiler, you start off as Franklin, right? And it starts off pretty low, I guess, but eventually you tie. I mean, this isn't a spoiler. You tie in with Trevor and Michael, who have a past, who have a relationship that, all right off the bat, it's a bit seedy. And Franklin's position in it all is a little unknown. He's kind of just like this mercurial guy who's doing jobs with them, but he never really has like a steadfast position in the overall story. Like he has his own things going on with Lamar and his side jobs, and they didn't do a really good job of keeping it cohesive. And I don't want to make it sound like the game, because this is one of the best games I've ever played in terms of gameplay. I mean, Josh mentioned adding the 3 protagonists, I guess, hurts the game only in narrative. I think adding the 3 characters as a gameplay mechanic is one of the best things they've ever done.
For sure. And I actually really enjoyed that aspect of like, switching between lives instantaneously. And one of my favorite things is that, playing old GTA games, or even in Saints Row, I have this problem sometimes where like I will go into the store to like buy stuff, and I'm like, I want to own everything, but I can only I'll put on one, costume or put on one article of clothing and forget about it and just never go back. But like with this, you get to you'll have 3 different ones you're switching between, and everyone's clothing is kind of unique. Like if you go into Pond's Boy, is that the name of the high-end clothing store?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like Barney's.
Yeah, and the stuff you can buy in there is unique to everyone. Like Franklin can get diamond studs for his ears, and he can get like a pea coat, and Michael's gonna get the like standard tuxedo. And the fact that all this stuff is unique to the people that you're playing with is really great. And they do a lot of that stuff even beyond that. If you switch between characters, Trevor is going to be often listening to like the old school punk rock station or the country station. If you switch to Michael, he's listening to the 80s classic station.
Well, when you're switching characters, typically they give you a little disposition about what they were up to when you switch to them. You get like a little 5 to 10 second thing, and sometimes you end up switching to them and they're drunk, naked in the middle of someone's backyard. Franklin will be at the strip club. Michael will be coming out of the movie theater. Like they do a really good, really, really unprecedented job with keeping the immersion and making it feel like a living, breathing game.
Yeah, I mean, and they do that so well. I mean, basically it's comparable to stuff that Bethesda is the only company I can think of that does this as well, except that, Rockstar is doing it in such a different venue. Bethesda does that immersion so well, where it's the food that's around you and it's all the little things you can do. Whereas, with Grand Theft Auto, it's the same way. It's not so much the fact that, yes, the city looks like, or has the Los Angeles feel. There's, the Venice Boardwalk and all those and the Chinatown Theater. But there is also, it's all of the small things. It's the fact that, yoga is probably a really big thing in LA. Like it seems like a totally fitting thing to be doing. Playing golf is something that Michael would definitely be doing during his down periods. He would go and play golf. And it's all of those little things that really help bring that immersion to a head. Yeah,
like I said, the characters are just... If you looked up a dossier on these characters when they were making this game, they might as well just be real people. Like it's probably down to the T. How fleshed out these people's personalities are. Even people you come across. So they have their regular missions, then they have their strangers and freaks missions.
I really like those missions too.
Which is the heart of the game, without a doubt. They keep the game light and diverse and funny.
Did one of those.
Which one did you do?
The weed one.
The
aliens.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I said last week. I was like, it'd be but when you come back as different people, you fight different enemies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's funny. So there's a guy who's trying to petition to get weed legalized. I mentioned this on the last podcast.
Yeah.
But you get stuff like that. You have this old couple who gets Trevor to steal celebrity articles of clothing and other various items.
And that's like especially when you start breaking it, there's the guy out in the boonies who's convinced that he was abducted by aliens, and he wants you to find pieces of the alien spacecraft.
Well, are you aware of the big conspiracy that's going on with the game right now?
I've read that there is a lot of supernatural things in the game.
People are working on. There's a big mystery in the game. There are several, actually. Someone solved the 8 murder mystery, though. There's a murder mystery where there's just like text throughout the game, and it gives you clues and locations to go. But there's also an overlying one where, in certain times of the day, under certain parameters and conditions, that UFOs show up.
Really?
Yeah. I think there's 5 UFOs right now. But they're all pointing to this. There's this map that people found that they overlaid it over the San Andreas, Los Santos area, and they're starting to like piece together this meta puzzle that apparently there's these 4 rewards. I think one of the images that shows for a reward is an egg. There's an image for a jetpack. There's an image for these 2 other things.
Wait, what? Like sometimes they'll just be like hanging out, and you'll notice that like someone's being abducted by a UFO.
No, it's not blatant like that at all. Like you have to go to a certain point at this time, and when it's raining, and a UFO will appear. And like people have tried to board the UFOs and stuff, and when you get too close to the UFOs, it'll hum like, and your helicopter won't be able to fly anymore, and it'll drop down. Like no one's figured it out yet. Like. It's like like a mystery metagame type thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's clues all throughout the city, and they're not very forward clues. They're kind of like just sayings and things like that. There's a whole subreddit and thing for it. But I love when companies do that. I think that's so neat. I can't wait to see when people figure it out. They're thinking that tomorrow or today, when you're hearing this, when Grand Theft Auto Online launches, that they might be able to piece things together a little bit better.
I hope so.
Because
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat. I hope so too. I think because apparently there's banks around the city that haven't been able to be robbed, and apparently a lot more is going to unlock tomorrow when the servers all crash and no one can get on.
Yeah. The future.
But yeah, I put probably over 45 hours into that game in the past week and a half. I marathoned it over a weekend.
You said you were close to 100%, right?
Yeah, I'm at 97%.
You crushed it.
The only thing I have left to do is stunt jumps, which is like fucking boring, and fly under bridges.
I probably put around 40 hours in. I am nowhere near close to 100% though. But that's also because I get sidetracked, and I'll just I'll just walk around, or I'll want to like blow something up, or I'll start a riot. Or
the Rockstar Social Club is really good with keeping stats, and they do it in a very nice aesthetic, in a very nice way, in keeping all your stats. So if you're listening and you play that game and you haven't done Social Club stuff yet, just check it out from a visual standpoint. It's artistically, they did a really good job with the design.
How fun is it punching people in the face, huh?
It is really good. Like the punching in that game, it's heavy. It's weighted.
I love just running and punching people in the face. It feels good.
I didn't do much of that, and so when I do it now, it's fucking.
I do a whole lot of that.
Yeah. Well, we know about your pistol whipping.
Yeah.
All right. Easy.
Yeah,
man.
I can't wait for the multiplayer. That's where I shine. That's where I.
Gregg is. Well, see what's what's fucked about the multiplayer when Gregg plays is that you can betray people in the multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
So if
it's
you're
just going to be
the
ultimate saboteur.
Well, Gregg can never be the host and run a bank mission because at the end of the bank mission, the host decides, or the leader decides who's getting what cut of the bank.
Oh, I'll get the whole cut.
Gregg will get the whole thing, but then we can kill you.
Gregg, will you get video of you fucking people over and like just I want to hear people scream at you.
It's going to be us. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what's going to be funny is I'll make a different account and I'll film it every time. But it's going to be you guys that's getting fucked.
You're not allowed in my server, dude.
I'm getting in that
Here's
server.
the thing, though. Like, if someone goes, like, if I get bored, I kind of do the same thing that Gregg does, where I'll just sit there and be like, well, I'm bored of this. How can I make this interesting? I'll kill this guy. And then just, let the chaos ensue.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm just not as good at it as I imagine that, like, you would be. Because it only happens if I'm, like, I don't troll at all.
When
and so
we
I'd love
used
to hear
to
you
play Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
4.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto 4. Multiplayer. I used to spend the whole time just blowing up our friend Nick Cuomo.
Yeah, and we'd all be like, all right, guys, like we'd make these dumb, when you're playing games, you make dumb plans. Like, all right, let's try to stack these helicopters up. Let's try to let's park as many cars as we can.
First thing I do would go and like take the helicopter that's holding all the other helicopters up and fly it away and ruin their
kill everyone.
Ruin their whole stack and then
hey,
shoot
do you guys
everyone.
believe that? Can you believe Gregg is that like that?
Yeah.
No way.
It's fun.
I can't wait to see what happens though. I can't wait for online. It's gonna be.
I hope I can like go into your houses and like rob them when you're offline.
Probably.
And like
it's gonna be like when we're talking about EverQuest Online. I'm gonna have to buy some guards.
Yeah. I just want to like leave random stuff in your guys, like chickens and stuff in your houses. You're gonna come home. There's gonna be like weird shit in there.
What's great about the online is that they're saying that everything that's playable in the single player is going to be playable on online.
I'll just do that. I'll catch up like that.
Play some golf.
I hope there's more. I hope there's more. Like I want more houses, more heists, all those things.
I'm not sure how big this download is going to be tomorrow. I hope they're ready for it.
I read it's 150 gigs.
Successfully brick all of your consoles.
You have to daisy chain all of your consoles that you have.
We'll hook up our PS3s together, and together we can play multiplayer.
Well, it's good because if you have an Xbox, you probably have like 5 or 6 hard drives from all the ones that got the red ring. Yeah. So you can just use those.
So Killzone is going to be 50 gigs if you download it off of PS4. Killzone.
The future. Again, the future. Just enjoy,
that's
everyone.
That's insulting.
I just think it's fucked that they think 500 gigabytes is suitable for a hard drive to release a console with. Like, what the fuck? Why? That's going to be 1/10 of your hard drive? Like one game? Because I know people that I speak with that want to go totally digital. Like, they don't want to. I like to have the physical copy of games. But I know people that don't anymore. They don't want to. For a release night down.
You can't even fit 50 gigs on a disc, though.
But this is the future. This is what we're going to get.
Think about that.
There's no discs that can hold 50 gigs.
So you'll probably have to download like a companion patch for the disc. Like there'll probably be a day one patch that you have to download that's sizable.
What does Blu-ray
just
hold?
like you did with GTA,
15?
right?
The triple layer DVDs I think can hold up to 30 gigs.
Well, what about Blu-ray? Is that the same thing?
The 3-layer Blu-ray DVD disc I think is like 30 gigs.
Okay, so 2 discs.
Yeah.
Whatever. But, 50 gig download, oh, man. Like, people who want to download that the night of. Oh, did you see that picture on, I don't know, it was floating around the internet, of a guy was like, about to do this. And it was a picture of Grand Theft Auto 5, Xbox controller, and the box of a 4 gig brand new Xbox 360.
Yeah. That's a shame.
GTA 5 has a 8 gig mandatory install.
I'll have to just daisy chain those suckers.
Another daisy chain.
Just jerry-rig the damn thing.
So overall, my GTA experience was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. There's so much nuance in the game that, I went around and I collected all the collectibles, like the notes and the what's the other one? The notes and the alien spaceship parts. And there are parts in that game that I hope they explore with the multiplayer, because there is beautiful architecture in that game that they never take you through on missions, like amphitheaters and racetracks.
Oh, yeah.
And there are things strewn throughout the city that have meticulous detail that you would just never even notice if you don't walk by it.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're
being forced to explore, it opens up the whole fucking world. Like, I don't know. It added a whole new thing to the game for me. It made me marvel at the game even that much more. So I recommend running it. Well, Greg, you're already doing that. I mean, when you get back into it, just fucking walk. Like, just go.
I'm just gonna live my life in there.
Go scuba diving.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. But we'll see you tomorrow. I can't wait to talk about GTA Online. Yeah, it'll be good.
We got that big Half-Life 3 announcement.
It's about time, right? We've all been waiting for it, and here it is.
What's good is I can take this podcast now, and the title will be Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3 announcement.
Oh, that's good. That's a good title.
Right, and we'll get lots of hits.
Steam announces Half-Life 3 live on AwayCast.
And Valve...
Valve
says no.
No, Steam does it. Steam doesn't care anymore.
Hubert Steam is like...
Jonathan Steam came out today and he said, we're going to release Half-Life 3 today.
And gave no retorts, no.
No.
If they wanted to move some Steam machines, that's exactly how they'd fucking do it.
All right, so we missed, we didn't miss, the podcast would have been opposite anyway, but last week we had the 3 announcements from Valve and Steam.
Valve for Steam.
Monday was announcement number 1. They had a teaser up on their site for a while with a countdown. Announcement number 1 on Monday was the SteamOS.
SteamOS.
Steam operating system.
Hold on there, Josh. Hold on there, John. Hold on there, the double J's. I read today that the Steam operating system was running 95% more efficiently than any operating system on the market.
Okay, but you still need to, here's the thing. Congratulations to Steam for the SteamOS, but that's still, the whole pitch behind SteamOS is that it's Linux-based, so it doesn't really run. It runs a ton of games right now, but that's it. And then the other thing about it is it runs over your Windows. And which is what most people are going to run it on, right?
Not if you get a Steam machine.
Well, we're not up to that announcement yet. It's only Monday in terms of announcements.
Oh, in our world that we're in right now.
In the podcast world, we're only up to Monday.
Right. Well,
so Steam announced their OS. It's going to be a Linux-based system, but also works with all of your other Steam-based machines. It's going to be optimized for gaming.
And stop me if I'm wrong. It is like big picture mode on crack, right?
That's pretty much what it is.
Pretty much in layman's. But I was excited for a Steam box. I thought Steam box at the time. I thought we were getting that first. I thought Monday they were going to drop that. So the Steam OS thing, when I first heard it, I was a little underwhelmed. I didn't know how to take it. I was like, it seemed too obvious. It didn't seem like it deserved a countdown. But it seems neat.
That almost seems like something they would announce the Steam box and be like, this is on the Steam box. This is the proprietary.
Not to piss on your point too much, Greg, but because that Steam box or the SteamOS could be something really, really great as they continue to work on it. Valve has never been one to rest on their laurels. I'm sure they'll continue to add features and continue to add games to the SteamOS so that it can someday rival Windows.
I know some people are afraid because it's Linux based, but they have created a UI for it that is probably going to be already compete with Windows when it comes out. I would assume that's what they're doing.
But it won't.
Well, I think that's their goal, but I think that would be a long-term goal.
Linux is already the most stable operating system you can have on any system. If they create a UI for it that it makes it convenient for people, there's no reason why you can't run anything on that system.
But it's getting Ma and Pa Swanson in nowhere, Kentucky to get on board with it, right? Before, because now
you don't know that
everyone has Windows.
Well, but you don't know if correct me if I'm wrong, but are you saying that just because it's their first release of this, it's not going to compete with anything any of the other operating systems that are out there?
Yeah, it just won't get the market penetration that it needs right off the bat. That it's going to take a few years of goodwill to try and get the groundswell it needs to really blow up, to actually legitimately draw a 50-50 split down the Windows line.
Right.
So moving right along from Monday, we had another countdown. And on Wednesday, they announced the Steam machines with an S.
It's an S at the end there. That's what we call plural.
So parts of speech with Greg Delarocca. So we're going to say that it's a Steam box, sure. But a Steam machine is going to be Steam machines are going to be.
That's plural.
Thank you. Multiple companies are going to be producing these machines.
Oh, really? It's different companies?
Yeah. So like Asus is going to have a Steam box, a Steam machine, and Alienware is going to have a Steam machine, and Dell is going to have a Steam machine. No, I don't know. I mean, nothing's confirmed yet, but it's going to be multiple. See, that's what's hard to differentiate it from a PC at that point. It's like it may as well be, aside from the fact that it's going to be different tiers. It's going to be a Steam.
It'll run SteamOS.
It'll run SteamOS, but most will anyway. So the way that they're marketing this, I guess my issue is, who is this really for? If you're going to play PC games and love Valve and Steam, you more than likely already have a PC capable of running these things.
And hooked up to your TV, right? I mean, it's not like rocket science to hook a computer to your TV.
Right, but most people don't. Most people like in-their-face gaming. So it makes me wonder who is going to move it into their living room.
Well, exactly, right? Or even the bigger question is, who wants to pay $500 to have a Steam box, right? To just like, hey, this plays Valve games. I put it here next to my TV and it'll play my Valve games. So, whereas like you can, if you really wanted that, just pick up your tower, set it next to your TV. It does the same thing, right?
Well, that's what's got me wondering is like, do you think that they're going to release Half-Life 3 and Left 4 Dead 3 exclusively
no way
on the SteamOS?
No
right
way.
But that's my point, is that they won't do that to
it's just an OS. It's not, like that's just like the carrier for their games.
But they're saying that a lot of games are going to be native to that OS as well. They're going to be optimized for that OS and developed with it in mind. But that's my point. It's like, who's this for? Who are these for? I'm excited for it. I think it's cool. I can't wait to see what they're going to do as a company.
I didn't know that other companies are making that. I thought they were going to make like 4 models, and then depending on your level of like how intense you want.
They're opening it up and they're working with several companies.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair,
I really don't like that.
It makes it a low risk thing for Valve, right? Like, what is the worst that they lose? Because they have no stake in the hardware. They're not putting a penny to that. They just stamp their name on it.
All they're doing is probably giving the rights for software use.
Right.
Exactly right.
That is fucking weak.
So they have there's almost no way they lose money, because all these companies are paying them probably to make the Steam machine, right?
But now consumers can make a bad decision though and buy the wrong Steam box.
But they can also upgrade it.
Yeah, but what if they can't? What if some Steam boxes aren't as upgradable as other ones are?
We'll see once that comes out. Yeah.
And that's my really big thing with this is like the moment that you buy a Steam box and you say, well, fuck, this graphic card is outdated. Now I need to go buy a graphics card. You are literally putting in as much like time and money and thought process as you would for just buying a PC. Like, because now you're like, oh, fuck, I got to unscrew this thing. Where the hell does this graphics card go? I don't know. I'm looking at the manual. I'm looking at the computer. I don't know. And like, I built my PC and it's not that difficult. It's not anything you can't do without a little commitment and some, just sheer will to learn. But at the same time, once again, it makes me wonder, like, why would I want a Steam box over a PC when a PC is like, yeah, it's difficult, but it's not that difficult. A Steam box, I'm going to have to upgrade it anyways. What the hell is the distinguishable difference?
It's making me wonder if that when these Steam machines are available, that they will have an easy to use way to swap them out for not the atypical PC user. Yeah. They might have like
a new type of RAM that's just like a little block
proprietary
that pops
RAM.
Right.
Yeah. But then you can, if you're an advanced PC user that builds your own PC, maybe you can use the stuff that you're used to, use your RAM and change out the video card and stuff like that. But it also makes me wonder, like, you're going to get your Fisher Price type.
It's going to be like
play.
They won't even call it RAM. They'll call it like game enhancer sticks, and then
they'll call it water.
Yeah, expansion
Steam
pack.
Well, expansion pack.
There you go.
Just breaking it down to the basics, huh?
Dude, just like the old school N64.
Yeah.
So then they did that. They announced that they're doing a 300 user beta where they're shipping out these Steam machines.
No one's getting on that we know.
No, whatever.
That's going to the crazy Steam users.
So, but I'm not. It's confusing, and some people I'm reading through forums and some posts. It's not as confusing as when Microsoft announce their policies, but people are saying like, well, there's another announcement this year. I just don't quite understand. Like, I just don't. There's not enough detail here yet.
That's because people are getting stupider, man. They're getting stupider.
How do I bounce back from that?
The controller.
So people put the pictures on their site kind of were representative. After a few days, people started figuring out it was. The third picture looked like it had two, not analog sticks on it, but two positions for input.
Trackpads.
They announced the Steam controller on Friday, which looks new and innovative. I have to say that at least. There's quite a few buttons on it.
I like it. I like the idea of a new controller.
I like the idea that we're going an unconventional way that isn't movement control. Like, we're not waggling a Wiimote or we're actually doing hand input in a different way.
I think
it feels like the first controller in a long time that's intelligently designed to be different. It's not gimmicky. It feels legitimately like someone sat down and said, what is the actual next evolution in these controllers?
I was telling John when I was younger, I had a rip-off Super Nintendo controller. It was like, it had like the switch on it for like turbo modes and stuff like that. And the D-pad was like a touchpad. It was like a trackpad. And it was horrible. Yeah. It was terrible.
I can imagine the technology for a trackpad then. It was like an Etch-a-Sketch.
But this one's going to be so like perfectly sensitive to your fingers. Like, it's going to just be so... It's going to be like... I'm sure they're trying to like make it so it's like better than using a mouse and a keyboard.
Makes me wonder how much it's going to cost, too.
And then especially in reference to RTS strategy games, right? Because that is like... If you can make it so that now you can play StarCraft or... even stuff like Dota on just your TV with a controller... You're going to open up that market to a whole bunch of people who just don't like that mouse and keyboard feel.
It's so odd to think of the specifics of it. Like, if they're really going for an RTS feel, I think it's going to still appeal to the casual gamer. I don't think any League of Legends pros are going to start using this pad. I mean, maybe
I was thinking like that would be the ultimate pitch, right? If you tune into the International 4, whatever fucking one they're on, and all of the pros are saying they're using that Steam pad, like, that would basically be the signal like, hey, this is endorsed by these guys. These are as hardcore as gamers as you can get.
That's in a perfect world for them. I think that gamers, PC gamers, especially RTS gamers and first-person gamers that are stuck to the mouse and keyboard, it's going to be real hard to move those stones, man. Like, I don't think it's going to be an easy task. So basically, the controller has a trackpad on the left and on the right, and they don't want to call them trackpads. They were kind of butthurt about people calling them trackpads because that
or haptic something, right?
Well, they have haptic feedback, which is another buzzword, but apparently it's force feedback. So when you're touching the trackpads / input pads, whatever, there's going to be pushing back, like pressure pushing back on you to make you recognize a hit. It's not going to be like using a trackpad on a laptop. Is going to be feedback to let you know that you were touching something. Because I was talking to Gregg about that, and I was saying like most of the games I play on Steam are indie platformers, and there's no D-pad to be found on this thing. And I thought it'd be a little odd on my thumbs to not. I mean, we've had a D-pad since day one with video games almost. I mean, after the joystick, after like Atari and ColecoVision, and like we had up, down, left, right, and that translated through all of time. And now this is the first controller I've seen in almost ever to not have this. So it was strange for me to think like, how am I gonna play in a platformer without? Because even now, like, say you download a platformer for Steam or for Xbox or PlayStation, like, if I'm playing Streets of Rage, I'm using a D-pad. There's no way I'm using the analog stick for that. So it felt. I was thinking psychologically, I need to feel the D-pad pushing back when I'm using the controller, and it's just not there. Also, in the center of the controller, there's going to be it's a touch screen, but I think they wanted to call it something else, right?
They're essentially 4 input buttons, aren't they?
Well, no, it's a touch screen.
There's a touch screen in the middle.
The beta that's going out does not have the touchscreen. It's going to be 4 input buttons.
Oh, okay. But there will be a touchscreen eventually.
That they said that someone has used the touchscreen. They said that it was like almost like using a cell phone keyboard. Like, it's really reactive.
But I know what they're sending out. Right. The 300 people are not. They're not going to have that. It's the only thing that they're not going to have. But it's sleek looking. It looks nice. I'm just really curious. It looks super unconventional. Lots of buttons on the back. What they're trying to do is they're trying to translate the keyboard into
there's like
controller.
shift buttons on the back for like crouching, and I think it looks like it's going to be interesting.
I heard an argument that if you have never played a video game before and you were asked to pick up a controller without any knowledge or knowing, like that D-pads, that analog sticks exist, this might be better for you.
I was talking to Mike Califano about this, about how fighting games are going to be awesome with this thing, because in fighting games, when a player has moves, you have to do like diagonal rolls.
You don't break your thumbs off.
That plus what they can start doing is different things. Like instead of to do this guy's special, you have to make a star, or you have to make a horseshoe,
that's cool.
or you have to make an X or something to do the special, or you have to do a bunch of different movements in a row, like X, circle, circle, triangle with your fingers to do a special.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me a little bit of the Nintendo, the Wii gamepad in a way, but I think fighting games, when it's local to your thumbs, it'll probably work a lot better. I think that's a cool idea.
One of the best things about this is that Steam is the first, because we always talk about how we're heading to this future of one box that does everything, like the Ulta box. And Steam is kind of having to make that first step where they're really trying to bring PC players to console and console players to PC. And that controller, it really walks that fine line of having to be hey, can you play your RTS on this? Can you play your fighting game on this? Can you do your indie platformer on this? Can you do your puzzle game on this? And having to just tread this new path, they're either going to end up pissing everyone off or making everyone fall in love with it.
I'm worried it's going to feel I'm not worried. Listen, I mean, everyone in the world, Valve has won everyone's hearts and minds. People that, I have folks that I'm friends with that they're Valve always does the right thing. And they don't even really mess with too many Valve products. They just know that they do right by gamers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My initial argument, the way I introduced this whole segment, was I don't know who this is for. With 2 new major consoles launching in a month, unless they have exclusive titles that are exclusive to SteamOS and Steam machines, I don't see how they're going to move as many units as they want, unless they have a modest. You know what, Josh? You're right. There's not much at risk here for hardware development. Aside from the controller. So I mean, financially, whatever. But the practicality of it, I'm not quite sure where it belongs in my living room.
Hopefully people can use those controllers with their PCs, though, also. Just your regular
they already confirmed it.
So that's great then. At least that's the one thing that we will probably definitely win on, is that controller.
Right. They said, they right off the bat, when they announced the Steam machines and the controllers, they're completely hackable, both of them. So...
But still, that's once again, that's really great that they can do all those things. But in this way, they're almost hindering their own cause. Because you said it, John, people are going to be dropping $1,000 this holiday season if they're buying consoles alone, not to mention games or any other, if you want a new iPhone or an iPad. So now you're talking about a device that really seems to have a niche to it, right? It's only for those people who have been desperate to play a PC and a console setting.
You think this is going to be ready for holiday season?
No.
Yeah.
No, but I'm even saying, even give it a year after that, people are still spending money on PlayStation 3s and Xbox Ones.
The window. Let me ask you guys a question, both of you. How do you think they market this? Gregg, how do you think they market the Steam machines? Did you think?
I'm wondering if because at first I thought they were making the Steam boxes. I'm wondering if the deals they're going to set with these other companies that are going to make the Steam machines, they're going to require them to each have a certain level, almost certain for the intro gamer to the more advanced gamer. They're only going to let certain companies, the Alienware is going to be their more advanced option, and their gateway is going to be for someone who has only $300.
Exactly. If you can push the gateway one for $300 and be hey, this will run all your dumb games, just buy it and be happy. I could see $300 being a reasonable price point for someone to be hey, I don't know much about this, but I'll buy a Steam box.
Well, okay, so let's say Gateway has the low end model, Alienware has the high end. Where, from an advertising standpoint, where do you put this? Where do you put it?
It's interesting because that's something they've never done before.
Right. That's why I'm
exactly.
I'm posing the question, is because do you market it as this is a game machine? Do you market it as this is a computer?
These announcements were even a little bit dark. Like the gaming community doesn't really know. Like the console gaming community doesn't even like know or give a shit.
Clueless.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you would have to push it that way though. I think you would have to like, you know, I would go to console gamers and I'd be like, hey, you know that Steam sale you hear about every single year? Have you ever wished that you could get in on that, but you just don't want to have to spend all the time uploading drivers and figuring out how to do RAM and, you know, staring at a YouTube video of how to like, you know, replace your graphics card? Buy this buy our Steam machine. It's $500 and you can get in on all the things you've been hearing about, all the great Steam stuff. You can play that Total War game you've heard of. Ever hear about this game called World of Warcraft? Here, play it on your Steam machine. I guess it wouldn't actually run on Steam machine because that's battle.net.
Right.
But the one thing
I see what you're getting
they're going to have though over these consoles are going to be modding communities. It seems like
exactly.
You know, your friend can play Fallout in his living room with his Xbox, or you can play it in your living room with your Steam box, and you can just download these mod patches that they'll probably have them in the fucking Steam store once that comes out, and people can just literally like drop in these fucking patches that make their games look a million times better than anybody else's.
I could see the modding community, but PC has always been kind of like, well, it's always been like that without a doubt, but it's never, you don't market modding. Like at Best Buy, it's not like you can mod the fuck out of your game.
But see,
you know?
I think, but Steam supports that though.
Right.
Steam supports the modding
with
community.
Steam Workshop is like the coolest thing ever. I mean, people could just download parts of games that you just create.
I mean, speaking of that, the Counter-Strike beta maps just came out. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Yeah, they offered a new program. It's like $5.
It's $5, and they're all user created maps, and it's like all new maps for competitive mode and for deathmatch mode. So there's new competitive maps now,
and they're all user created. And then what Steam does is they support the modding community. They pay them.
Yeah. And the maps are awesome. They're beautiful. They're like all really, really good maps. They're better than some of the competitive maps that have been around for a long, long time.
And so like that would be my pitch. My pitch would be like, because we all hear about Steam, right? I mean, even if like before I even had a PC, I knew that Steam was awesome. And so if you can give people a reasonable price point to get in on what everyone's been talking about, you know, that's the only pitch I can see. That's the only market I can see pitching this to.
I remember when Steam first came out, everyone hated it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
it was the trick to buy Half-Life 2, right?
I don't remember. I just remember I had to load a program to load a game, and I was upset about it.
Hated Steam. Yeah, I remember that.
But now it is what it is. So I'm still, you know, like Gregg said, it's dark. Like it's still, there's not much light shed on this whole thing.
It's alternative.
I'm really excited to see what happens, just because it's a total wrench in what's going on in gaming right now. There's a lot of positives. People that have used the Steam controller have said good things. They've said bad things. Bad in the sense that it's unfamiliar mostly.
Well, and in the console war, which is God, I hate saying that word. I'm sorry.
No, you're allowed.
For this, you know, for Microsoft and Sony, who, let's face it, they're stuck in the mud, right? They like Microsoft tried doing new things. People said, no, stop it. And so they're like, okay, we're not doing new things anymore. Now we have these two machines, which are for all intents and purposes the same. And you know, and then you do have Steam, and Steam is doing something different, right? I mean, they're offering cheaper games. They're offering better, you know, customer support. They are the people who really, really try and support their communities. You're going to get an indie library that's bigger than any other indie library, way bigger than Sony's has ever been.
If you were to ask me who was in position to make any kind of rattle or change in the industry, it would be the people with the least to lose.
Well, exactly.
So I think that they are ripe for this. I think they're doing all the right things. I think the details have not come to light, and we have a really exciting year or so ahead of us. I think we'll see something. Well, I can't even put anything on it. I mean, I don't know how long this beta is going to last or whatever, but it's exciting.
If I was to guess, if I was just to throw my guess out there, I bet we're seeing this
spring.
I was going to say Q2 or Q3 of 2014. Okay. So that would be like basically April to October.
So they'll probably roll them out too. It'll probably be, you think they'll announce 5 in a row?
I think it's all going to come out at once, and I think it's going to come out with a Half-Life announcement as well.
You think so?
I think that's their big PR move right there.
That would be, oh my God.
They've been sitting on this
for a way to move those. That would be my marketing strategy.
That's
John?
what I'm saying. They've been sitting on these things on that game for so fucking long. Like they're
loving it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like literally at like this boiling point where people are about to fucking explode. They have this new console. Well, the new systems, the new OS. Make it way better for people who have the Steam boxes.
God, if you dangled Half-Life 3, God, they'd make so much money. They got to know that, right? They're not dumb. They need to know how much money they could make if they just said, hey, SteamOS, Half-Life 3, together, forever, buy it.
But how do they pitch it? What do they say?
Optimize the controller for it.
You get a free golden gun if you pre-order. You also get...
No, the Steam controller is going to be optimized for it. It's going to have Oculus support, and those Steam boxes are going to be Oculus ready.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
But so think about this. Even if you just pitch it like, the only way to play it is get the SteamOS, because the SteamOS can run over Windows. So even if you have,
there's going to be even. Go ahead, sorry.
I could just download SteamOS to my PC right now and play it, and that would at least start that like the same way that they did with Steam in the first place. Was they're just like, hey, you want Half-Life 2? Get it here. It's on Steam. You're like, you want Portal 2? Get it here. It's on Steam. And like, if you can drive people to just get that familiarity, where like, well, now I have this damn thing, I might as well just get my games to it. Then if you can just do that, you just need that foot in the door, and then they'll come.
It's like John was saying, like when like the pre-order thing, how like GameStop will give you something when you get an Xbox game. What they should do with their new consoles is that when someone pre-orders a game for the Steam box over Steam, is offer them like a limited edition like modding pack. Like enhanced graphics, like better textures, because your system can handle better texture support, stuff like that. Like make it so that the game is literally going to be better for this.
The definitive version.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see that happening.
Yeah,
I hope it does.
It's gonna be like you get Half-Life 3 for Steam. Well, you're also gonna get the Steam texture pack, which is like way higher resolution than it is for anything else.
That's kind of a dick move.
But that's their IP. That's their IP, though.
But now picture yourself being someone with a mid-range PC. You just bought a mid-range PC. You're a Valve supporter.
Yeah.
You just bought it. Steam machine comes. Well, let me finish. You know where I'm going.
I know.
But if you're mid-range, then download SteamOS and get Half-Life 3. Like.
But I'm saying like,
I was talking about the texture pack that I was talking about.
But I'm saying like, this kid wants to play the best that he can because he's been a Valve supporter his whole life. Blah 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 blah. Sob story.
Well, if he's really a Valve supporter, he'll get another job.
He can't afford it.
He'll get another fucking job.
But if he really was like, but if he's getting a PC to play if he's getting a PC game, he wants it to play at max settings. You can't do that with a mid-range PC. Like you can't spend $600.
Okay, fine. He bought 2 weeks before Steam machines came out, he bought the highest end PC. $5,000 he bought a PC, but you can't run.
Yes, it can for $5,000. It can run everything.
Yeah,
it'd run everything.
It can emulate all the new console. I mean,
yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying. There's much to be learned about the SteamOS.
And people need to understand and also remember that these new consoles coming out, they're going to look great, but PCs are still going to be double what they can put out.
Well, they'll be constantly evolving. Still not.
But even when those systems come out, there's already PCs that are more powerful than those consoles.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But they're more expensive and they're more difficult to maintain.
But also what happens with consoles is at the beginning of the life cycle of consoles, they're also pretty terrible in terms of what they're capable of. If you look at playing Perfect Dark Zero in 2005 and then playing
Resistance.
Well, because people learn how to use the system,
they utilize the system better. But yeah, PC will always be, master race, PC, whatever race.
Yeah.
But there's also like a strange territory that comes with being a PC-only gamer. And same thing with a console-only gamer. I mean, there's certain paradigms. And we can all just be gamers, right? We all have to hate each other and yell and scream.
I just fucking hate PC gamers, the scourge of the earth.
Oh, man. Come on, Josh, lighten up.
No. Now I'm upset.
So, a couple things in news. I mean, Steam was kind of news, but I wanted that to be a major segment. We'll go through it quick. And then we have one email from, actually, Tyler posed a really good question. Your buddy Tyler.
Yeah.
So, Wind Waker HD came out. I heard it was good. I don't care. I don't really care. I'm not going to play that again. Great Zelda game, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to skip these other things. I played a game called Ascend, free on Xbox. So it's all right. It's a free to play game. You pay for other shit. Pay to win. Need for Speed movie trailer looked terrible.
Oh my god, looks so bad.
It looks so bad.
And they showed it like 3 times during Breaking Bad last night.
Jesse,
it was Aaron Paul.
That's his name, Aaron Paul.
His name's Jesse in the show.
Right.
Aaron Paul's.
Yeah, he's in it, and he looks pretty shitty in it. Because they probably set him. It looks like the most typical car, the most stereotypical car.
It looks like they're trying to steal what the Fast and the Furious has going on, right?
It's just like cars, fire, girls, disappointment, fire, anger, emotion, Need for Speed.
I'm just come on, more car movies.
Wait, but isn't that? I think the premise is like he played. I don't even fucking know. Cars.
It's funny because Breaking Bad. Spoiler alert. Breaking Bad ends with him riding off in a car. That's how it ends. So pretty much he's riding into his next
Need for Speed movie.
So Need for Speed is the sequel to Breaking Bad. The movie sequel.
They play it like that. They might actually move some movie tickets. So GTA Online comes out tomorrow. I got an Ouya for really cheap. So I got that.
Ouya.
And Gregg did that before, and that's exactly what it says when you start it up. It goes, Ouya.
What if I told you I've seen videos of that? That's how I did it.
Well, then you played me.
The magic is gone.
You played me, man. So I played a game called Reaper on the Ouya. I only got it today. I played it for a little while. Really cool game, Reaper. But there'll be more on that. I'm going to capture some stuff on Ouya and pop it up this week just to let people know that this thing is actually real. And it's not.
Yeah, I still don't believe you.
It's still kind of shitty, but it's not the worst thing. But I'll do my research. I'll let you guys know. What else in news? Rain comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, what's Rain?
Rain is, I assume it's like a puzzle platformer. You play as a kid who is invisible. You can only see him when he steps into the rain, but there are monsters in the rain, so you have to sometimes hide under like awnings, things like that to escape the rain, but then you can't see yourself. You got to kind of work your way through.
It seems like another one of those charming, nuanced games.
Sounds cool.
Exactly. Studio Japan, the same people who did Puppeteer and Tokyo Jungle, Ape Escape, Paddle Pawn.
What else we got here? PlayStation 4 allegedly. I don't think I confirmed this yet, but it might be. You can use one PS4 for multiple televisions. So if you wanted to play co-op split screen, you can play on each other's. You can play on your own respective television.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Would you need multiple HDMI cables, or is it like stream
I
to
don't
smart
know.
TVs?
I don't know.
Something?
This is all breaking speculation news right now, but that's kind of cool. I think that's neat.
That'd be great. Like if you can use one and be multi-rooms, like if you have a smart TV or something like that.
We're getting so close, man. I'm pumped. I don't know. I'm kind of like, don't know if I should wait for Watch Dogs. I think I might get it on PlayStation 4. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting Watch Dogs next gen.
I'm kind of want to feel out both controllers before I get my exclusives to see how each feels. But they're probably not worse than the Ouya controller, which is not as bad as people made it out to be, but it's still kind of meh.
Well, that's because they braced you for it, right? You've heard so much bad stuff. Could it ever be as bad as you thought, like that people had made it out to be?
Yeah. Everybody softened the blow by loosening up the pickle jar a little bit. So, okay, so let's get to our email from Tyler.
Tyler, what's your email?
Tyler just wants to know what's our respective most disappointing endings to video games. Which were you most disappointed by with an ending?
Ooh.
Takes a little thinking.
Yeah.
We probably should have discussed this before. Yeah, my bad.
Man. You really fucked us here.
Well, I don't want to ruin anybody's expectations of GTA 5, but that's a recent one.
It does have a really bad ending.
You picked the obvious option, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Because you have the option in the end to pick 3 different things, and Josh and I picked the same one, and it was a very boring, slap together ending that it seemed like they wanted to just tie it up quick and said, okay, let's just tie up all this stuff, and okay, now the game's over. So,
I got mine.
What is it?
Gone Home.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good one.
There, yeah.
And if you're curious why, listen to last week's podcast.
Well, by Gregg's accord, every game he listened to on this podcast.
It's just fine.
It's the worst game. Just fine.
That's pretty much it.
It gets a 1 out of 1.
It's a 1 out of 1. Just it's fine.
What about you, Josh? Do you have anything in mind?
So Ty was talking to me about this question.
Oh, so you have some.
Oh my god!
You warmed up.
Some insight. I have some insight into this, like why it like came about. He was playing Mass Effect 3, and he got to the ending of Mass Effect 3, and he's like, "Oh, this isn't as bad as everyone made it out to be. Everyone said this ending was terrible." And I was actually thinking about it, and I was like, the ending of Mass Effect 2 is actually like one of my least favorite endings of that series, and in general, where you have to fight the giant baby, humanoid monster machine thing. And that is just one of the dumbest boss fights in my life. I've never seen a game so much to be like, here's your boss fight. We took one of these things and we made it big.
Well, when we talk about disappointing endings, I think it's with the idea that the game was actually good, because you can't say like, oh, I was disappointed by the ending for Super R-Type or Tetris or Galaga.
Oh, yeah,
like. The game.
Well, Tetris was kind of a fucked up ending.
Well, isn't it like the rocket ship goes up into space?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I still have nightmares.
Emotional effect on you.
Yeah.
The Russians. Oh, you do. Russian culture. Hey. I thought you were gonna stop there. It's hard when I get asked a question like that. I just see all the games I've ever played pass in front of my eyes, and I can't even see like an ending.
It's hard to try and like distinguish something,
a clear ending in sight. But in recent times, I would say, very recent times, GTA was kind of a letdown in terms of the ending, specifically story-wise, based on the one I picked.
Is it because you picked the wrong one?
I think everyone's going to pick the same one.
I'm not.
But
I read some of them, and like just from what I've read, some of them sound more interesting, but no one would ever think to pick them. Like I won't say any more on this for the sake of spoilers.
Can you save like right before and go back and pick the other one?
Probably.
Yeah, you probably can.
But it changes the rest of the game. So I think mine is Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah, that was fucked up. Also.
Yeah.
It's a surprise ending,
right? Big shocker.
Real Big Fish comes out, and they're just like, and you're just like doing grinds for like eternity. It sucks.
On the Big Fish, it was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what endings I really enjoyed? Now that you're talking about Real Big Fish, it reminded me of Rogue Trip, which reminds me of. You ever play Rogue Trip? Anybody?
No.
Twisted Metal. I remember in Twisted Metal 2, I would just like to watch that little ending for each character. So
that's how I was with Street Fighter.
Yeah, you have to see each ending.
That's how I was playing Street Fighter 2. I had to get every guy's. I need to know their stories.
Yeah,
I remember doing that for Mortal Kombat, and actually that was disappointing because we would like reread. We had the guide, and so we were like reading about all these endings. Like, oh, it's gonna be so cool to see this actually happen. And then it's like it can never match what it is in your brain. It's just some stupid like story panel coming up, and I was like, oh fuck this. This is lame.
Right. Yeah, they didn't start getting good till way later on. Even Twisted Metal Black was good. Like all the Twisted Metals with Calypso, awesome. I think my least favorite ending now is any video game on NES because they have the win screen and then it goes back to start.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for playing.
Congratulations. You win.
Thanks for playing. Bye.
Press start, player 1, player 2.
Yeah.
And that's it. All right. So next week, I'll talk more about the Ouya. We'll talk about online, Great GTA Online. Hopefully, Gregg, you play some of that with us.
And we're going to talk about Comic-Con.
Well, not...
Next week,
among each other, right?
Are we getting ready for it? We're going to start talking about what's coming up?
Yeah, I mean,
we have to hyping it a little bit.
We have to start. It's getting a little close. We should have a game plan by now, but we don't. We're unprepared, but we're going to get it all together. And we look forward to seeing you, Josh. We're going to hang out.
Yeah,
we're going to hang out.
Don't say we're looking forward to. Say you're looking forward
Josh, I look forward to having you over.
Big old saggy pants Gregg over there.
Yeah. Gregg does wear Jenkos.
I wear Jenkos every day.
Oh,
and I wear Heelys.
You know what sucks is, Josh, you've seen us on webcam. I wish you've never even seen us. I wish this was weird. Like I don't know. That'd be really funny. Like, because what Gregg would do, I know what Gregg would do is he'd start talking to you with an accent. He'd be like, hello, even though you talk to him on the podcast. Gregg would be like, I was kidding the whole time.
Josh, you like my English accent, though?
When I'm on the podcast, I speak...
English.
Get rid of my accent.
I'm really from Lithuania.
So get your New York pants ready, Josh. It's a tough town out here. Bring your bulletproof vest.
I'm getting Kevlar everything. So I've already left. Like I'm leaving a couple grand in case someone needs to either pay for a funeral or bail me out of jail.
Oh, dude, we're going to so many funerals when you come here.
Yeah, that's how it is. People just keep getting shot. And Gregg and I said you can borrow our Kevlar, but we have a lot of bullet holes.
How quickly can I get into a mafia when I get there?
So quick, man. Like literally, when you get to the toll booth, they're gonna ask, "Would you like to join a mafia?" They're gonna give you like a little scorecard.
Like as soon as I show up, they're just like, "Hey, you can join Joey Paglione's gang, or
don't
you can
join Paglione's gang."
Stop dropping names right now, guys.
You can't say Paglione's name. We're getting a fine.
They'll give you a
scan. Get you guys whacked. I'm sorry.
They'll give you a Scantron as you enter the border of New York. They'll do it on the plane if you're taking a flight. You say if you want to join the Italian gang, the Russians, we have some Yakuza here. You have to join one and be protected, man.
I think I'm going to join Yakuza, guys. I don't know what affiliations you have.
Look, I've seen you. Aryan Brotherhood, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Joshua Hinkie. That'll go over really well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week's AwayCast. Josh, thanks so much for hanging out, my brother.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's play some GTA Online tomorrow. Huh?
Let's do it, man.
Let's see it get up and running first.
It will totally be a nightmare like every other launch. Gregg, thanks so much for chilling, brother.
Thanks for having me, John.
No problem. I miss Pillow Gregg.
Hold on, let me get him real quick.
All right, this is taking too long. Come on.
Hello and goodbye, Pillow Gregg.
Hi, John.
I like how Gregg actually went and picked up the pillow, like the people listening.
Just fake it.
You could have just faked it but then I would have known that it was fake.
John,
I guess.
Don't you looking tired, John? You want to come take a nap with me, John?
Oh, so that's what it is. Josh, you can sleep on Pillow Gregg when you come.
Gregg? Oh, I don't know about that.
Let's take a nap, John.
Gregg, good hanging out like usual, man.
It was always really great hanging out.
All right, guys, check us out at I almost fucked up our URL again. It's been too long. It's been too long.
At google.com.
Check us out at google.com. That's it.
All right, that's how we're going to end it.
All right. Deuces, yo.
Yo, latest. AwayCast.com.